Hello students, today we are going to solve exercise 8 from Creative Writing Book 5. So we start our lesson. Here is A part. Brainstorm and write down as many ideas as you can on the 4 categories below. Character: an electric eel. There may be many characters, other characters, a wizard, a veterinarian, a robot, a tiger, a cobra. Place: a cemetery, a park, a beach, a market, a zoo, a clinic. Situation: losing your memory, reading your favorite book, dancing under the sky, splashing in the water, gobbling your food, lying on the grass. Object: a tombstone, a clock, a blanket, a tree, a frying pan, a football. Choose one idea from each category and write a short story. For example, on waking up, I found myself in a deserted cemetery. There I was lying on top of a tombstone. I jumped off immediately and apologized profusely to the dead occupant. I tried to recall how I got there, but I seemed to have lost my memory. I slapped my forehead with the palm of my hand. Then something caught my eye. I had a tattoo of an electric eel on both my palms. What did that mean? How did they get there? I was walking through a park in the middle of the afternoon. The cool breeze was blowing. I sat under a tree. I was reading my favorite book. It was like a wise wizard. Not a single person was in sight. Suddenly I heard a shrill ringing coming from the bushes beside me. I was frightened at first but decided to investigate. I parted the bushes slowly and peered in the direction from where the ringing had come from. At that moment, I saw a red object lying on its side. It was an alarm clock. Who could have placed it there? B. Given a situation, write down what takes place next. Focus on three of your senses to relate what happened next. Write about what you hear, see, or feel when the situation happened. Example: a glass that has fallen off a table. With a loud crash, the glass landed on the floor. The broken pieces lay scattered on the ceramic tiles. I nearly jumped out of my skin when I heard the crash. 1. A gust of wind blowing while you were walking on the street. The wind whistled past me. The leaves on the trees began swaying to and fro. I was beginning to feel chilly. 2. A boy stumbling over a stone. He stumbled over the stone and crashed loudly onto the ground. His elbows and knees were slightly bruised. 3. A girl trying on a new dress in front of a mirror. She ran her hands gently over the soft pink dress that she was wearing. She broke out into a radiant smile. 4. You opened the door and saw your grandparents with gifts. They called out my names in their soft but excited voices. I was bursting with happiness. Their arms were overflowing with colorful wrapped presents. 5. A man sitting down on a creaking chair. He leaned back, placed his hands on his lap, and closed his eyes. Even the slightest movement from him caused the chair creak loudly. He felt satisfied. 6. A little boy frightened by a stray dog. The boy cried out in a fear and called someone for help. He wrapped his arms around his body. Fear courses through his body. C. Come up with a list of phrases that you would most likely use when writing a scenario. The first one has been done for you. For example, feeling sick. See a doctor. take one's temperature, did a checkup, ask for a medical leave certificate, list of symptoms, give a prescription, be on medication, recover from the sickness. 1. Having a rehearsal, repeated performance, forgotten lines, frequent mistakes, tried but determined, but determined, perfecting the performance, empathy theater. Empathy theater. 2. Going on a field trip, excited voices, looking for a guide, briefing on safety rules, singing loudly, gaining new knowledge, bus loaded with children. 3. Going fishing, preparing a boat, taking a fishing rod, large buckets, checking the weather forecast, hiring a boat, learning to be patient. D. After reading the narrated passage on the left, put yourself in the writer's shoes by writing a single line to infer what the writer is trying to express to you. Narrated passage. When I passed by the big oak tree, I heard its leaves rustling gently in the drops of the rain. Slowly I realized my dress was all wet, but I did not want to go home. I did not want to be misunderstood and scolded again. What the writer is expressing, the writer was upset and aggrieved. I ran in the park, feeling the gentle breeze blowing against my face. I heard the merry songs of the birds in the trees. I saw a kite flying freely in the sky with the clouds dancing in the background. The kite seemed to take both my happiness and laughter to the clear blue sky. What the writer is expressing, the writer was happy and carefree. I shouted at the sea, and the waves replied as they lashed against the rocks. I saw the sun setting slowly down into the sea. The darkness reminded me it was late in the evening. Reluctantly, I walked to my car. What the writer is expressing? The writer was frustrated and dissatisfied. E. Look at the following picture carefully, complete the diagrammatic summary, then write a short story on it. Setting. The setting is a family home. Characters are John, Annie, grandmother, mother, grandfather, father, grandfather's friend. The title of the story is On a Typical Morning. Action. Grandfather and his friend going for a jog. Grandmother returning from the market. John and Annie going to school. Conclusion. The family goes about their day. On a typical morning, the sun has just risen, but already the Steve family are going about their activities. It is the start of a new day, and everyone is looking forward to it. John and Annie are on their way to school. They are in their school uniforms. John waves goodbye to his grandfather. His grandfather is happy to see him as he has just returned from his usual morning jog with his friend. They are going to have breakfast together. Their grandmother has just returned home with a basket of food. The children's parents are off to work. It is a typical morning for John and his family. They will only see one another again in the evening. F. Write on a memorable family celebration you had recently. It could be your grandfather's birthday, your sister's wedding, or even your nephew's 1 month old birthday. Narrate a story on how the celebration was done. Your story should be at least 200 words. Helpful hints to get you started. What you did before the celebration, how the celebration went, describe the atmosphere of the celebration, what you thought of the celebration. My sister's wedding. My sister got married in February last year. I was just as excited as my sister because I finally had the chance to dress like a princess. On the day of ceremony, I got up early morning. My sister was having breakfast, which my mother specially prepared for her. Then she put on her wedding gown. She looked charming. I had never seen her so beautiful before. I changed my dress. I was waiting for the groom impatiently. I opened the door. I heard the sound of the car in the driveway before I saw them. When the car stopped, my brother in law emerged in groom's dress. My parents and relatives were waiting inside the house for their arrival. Everyone was talking excitedly about bride and groom. Everyone was happy. Then we took our meal. It was an interesting and memorable time for me.
Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.